So in the previous session, we had seen certain applications of Gauss's law, right? That is regarding to find the electric field intensity due to symmetric charge distributions. We have seen for point charge, line charge, and surface charge. There is another application of Gauss's law, that is to determine the charge enclosed in a differential volume element. Okay, so let us consider a point. Let us consider a point P, and let us consider a rectangular coordinate system. Okay, this way, if you consider a point P, which is located here, let its coordinates be x, y, z. That is in rectangular coordinate system. So we will look at the expression for the electric flux density at that particular point. Okay, so if d naught is the electric flux density at that particular point, since it is rectangular coordinate system, we have ax, ay, and az components. Okay, so let d naught, its ax component be dx naught, ay component be dy naught, and az component be dz naught. Then it will be dx naught ax, d plus dy naught ay plus dz naught az. So this is the electric flux density at this particular point P. Okay, so now as we are considering rectangular coordinate system, we will consider a rectangular, rectangular box as the Gaussian surface, which will enclose this particular point. Okay, let us consider a Gaussian surface, which is a small rectangular box. Okay, which is centered at P. The P is at the center now. Since it is a rectangular box, there are three dimensions in x direction. Let the length be delta x, let the delta y be in y direction, and delta z in z direction. So it's a small rectangular box with elemental lengths in all the three dimensions. Okay, so now since it is a point, it is enclosed, you are supposed to find the charge enclosed within this particular box, that is a volume. So when you consider this box, its particular volume, right, its volume is actually given by product of all the three lengths, delta x into delta y into delta z. So Gauss's law, you can apply it to find the charge enclosed within this closed volume. Okay, so within this closed volume, that is q, that is given by closed surface integral of d dot ds. This is what we have seen in Gauss's law, right? So this is nothing but flux, right? The total flux is equal to the total charge enclosed within that particular closed surface. So there are 6 different surfaces here. So the charge enclosed within this closed surface is this one. Okay, so now that is q, that is closed surface integral of d dot ds. You can take this as equation number 1. So when you consider closed surface integral, if you look at this rectangular box, there are actually 6 different surfaces. One is the front surface, as you can see, one is the back surface, one is the left surface, then the right surface, and top surface and the bottom surface. There are 6 different surfaces, right? So based on that, you can determine the RHS of this particular equation by the sum of 6 different integrals. Okay, so to find the RHS of this, we will use 6 different integrals. That is the integration for the front, the back, for the left, right, top, and bottom separately, and then add them together to find the RHS of this equation 1. So first we will look at the first integral, that is for the front surface. As you can see, the front surface, so this is the front surface. Its one dimension is delta y, the other dimension is delta z. Okay, so for the front surface, the surface element, it is very small. These are elemental lengths. So d is essentially constant over this, so you can directly integrate it. Okay, so integration of front surface is equal to the, so when you are finding integration, you're actually finding this integration of d dot ds. Okay, since it is constant, we can just take d dot delta s front. D is the electric flux density on the front surface, the dot product of the area of the front surface. Okay, electric flux density of the front surface at the front surface multiplied by the delta area of the front surface. So the area is nothing but what you can see, delta y into delta z, and it is in the outward direction. The outward direction is x direction, right? It is delta y into delta z into ax. That's why ds delta s front is delta y into delta z into ax. multiplied by the dot product with d front. Okay, so d front is the electric flux density on the front surface. So that is, you can, since it is only in the, so since the area has only ax component, when you find the dot product you will be left with only the ax component. Okay, so you'll be left with only a x component. That's why you will have dx front multiplied by delta y into delta z. So d front, it will have ax, ay and az components, but when you're finding dot product in this particular vector, ay and az are 0. That's why ay and az components of d front will be eliminated in the dot product. What remains is only the x component, right? So that's why it is dx front into delta y into delta z. Now what is this dx front? That is the x component of the electric flux density on the front surface. Okay, so uh, the value of d at particular point p. So now this point P is at the center of this rectangular box. So what is the distance of the front surface from the point P? This entire length is delta x, right? At the center of this, there is this point P. So from point P, the front surface is at the distance of delta x by 2, right? Half of the total length, that is delta x by 2, right? So at the center, you know the value of d. So this d will vary with position, right? So as you change x, the d also will change. That's why we need to find the rate of change of this dx with x. Okay, and what is the length? That is delta x by 2 from the center of the box to the surface, front surface, that is delta x by 2. So at the point P, the value of dx is dx naught, right? It is dx naught plus delta x by 2, that is the distance of the point P from the front surface, multiplied by rate of change of dx with x. So dx, it will change not just with x, it will also change with y and z. But here we are interested to find the rate of change of dx with x only, right? That's why we will consider partial differentiation, that is partial differentiation of dx with respect to x. So this we will take as equation number 4. And what is this? This is actually the x component of electric flux density on the front surface. Similarly, now this particular thing, if you substitute in this equation, what do you get? Dx naught plus delta x by 2 into dou dx by dou x into delta y into delta z, right? So that is what the expression for integration of the front surface. Okay, similarly, if you consider the back surface is similar, but its direction will be minus ax. Okay, its direction will be minus ax. That's why it is d back dot delta s back. Instead of ax, it will be minus ax. So it will be like this, minus delta y delta z into ax. Okay, so you can write it like this, minus dx back into delta y into delta z, because only x component will remain. So to find this, it's actually in the same way you can do it, like it is dx naught minus delta x by 2, because the back surface is also at a distance of delta x by 2, but it is on the other side. Okay, that's why it is minus delta x by 2 into rate of change of dx with respect to x. So if you substitute this in this particular equation, what you will end up getting is this one, minus of this thing. So it is minus dx naught, in minus of minus is plus, right? Plus delta x by 2 dou dx by dou x delta y with delta z. So this is the expression for integration of d dot ds for the back surface. So we have got it for the front surface and back surface. If you are going to add them together, okay, if you are going to add them together, this is equation number 5, front surface, and the next equation number 8 for the back surface. If you are going to add them together, okay, so you are going to get this. So what you can see is the delta y delta z is common, this thing is common, but here there is dx naught, here there is minus dx naught. So this term is going to get cancelled, right? And here there is delta x by 2, delta x by 2. If you add them, it will become delta x, right? And dou dx by dou x is common. So dou dx by dou x into delta x into delta y into delta z. So this is the expression for the sum of integration of the front and the back surfaces. Okay, dou dx by dou dx by dou x delta y delta z. Similarly, if you consider the left and the right surface, okay. Similarly, if you consider the left and the right surfaces, the left surface and the right surface, it will be in the AY directions. They are right surface will be in AY direction, left surface will be in the minus AY direction, right? So that's why it will be Y, right? Dou dy by dou y, delta x, delta y, delta z. Similarly, if you consider the top and the bottom surfaces, the top one is in the AZ direction, bottom one is in the minus AZ direction. So it will be dou dz by dou z into delta x into delta y into delta z. So this way you have got the expressions for the integration of all the six surfaces. If you are going to add them together, okay, if you are going to add them together, you get the RHS of that equation number 2, right? So this is the thing, right? So yeah, if you are going to add them, front, back, left, right, top and bottom, all the six. So in each one you have one coordinate. Here there it was dou dx by dou x, here it is dou dy by dou y, and here it is dou dz by dou z. So if you are going to add them, so it is dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z, and the common factor is delta x into delta y into delta z. So this product delta x into delta y into delta z is actually the product of all the three lengths of this rectangular box, right? So which is nothing but its volume, that is differential volume delta v. If you substitute this, right, and this is also equal to q. What you have observed in equation 1 is this is equal to the charge enclosed. So charge enclosed is equal to this integration of d dot ds, that is equal to dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z multiplied by the volume in which you are supposed to find the charge enclosed. So this is the expression for the charge enclosed within any differential volume element. Okay, so if you are given with the volume, you can use this equation, and if you are supposed to be given with the volume and d, then you can find the charge enclosed within that differential volume by using this particular equation. Okay, so this is one important application of Gauss's law. Okay, so next, there is another concept, a very important concept of divergence. Okay, so divergence, if you want the definition, so normally the divergence, it can be for any vector, but we will consider in this particular chapter, the divergence is considered for a flux density vector, that is vector D. Okay, so it's a general operation which can be on any vector. Okay, so if you want to define it, it is the outflow of flux from a small closed surface per unit volume as the volume shrinks to zero. Okay, so outflow of flux from a small closed surface per unit volume as the volume shrinks to zero. So when you are considering the outflow of flux, that means that flux is nothing but the charge enclosed within that closed surface, right? So you are going to apply limit in this particular case as the volume shrinks to zero. So this concept of divergence, you can apply in any general scenario also, like there is one example given in your textbook, that is when you make a hole in a tire which is filled with air. Okay, so the hole you make in only one place in the tire, there is pressure because of the air that is present. When you make a hole, all the air that was present in that tire will come out through that small hole, right? So at the same time, the volume of the air inside inside that particular tire tube, it becomes zero. It is going to become zero. So that kind of outward movement of air from a very small hole that you make it in the tire tube, that can be considered as divergence. So in that particular case, since entire movement of air is outside, it is considered as positive. Okay, so there can be some other examples where it goes in the other direction, then it is considered as negative divergence. Okay, so here we are considering the outflow of flux from a small closed surface per unit volume as the volume shrinks to zero. So if you want to express this mathematically, we consider the divergence of D. You can write it as div of D. There is another notation also. We will come to that later. So this is limit of the closed surface integral of d dot ds, which is nothing but the total flux inside a closed surface, right? This is the total flux inside the closed surface per unit volume. That's why it is delta V as volume shrinks to zero. That is limit as delta V tends to zero. Okay, limit as delta V tends to zero. So this is the mathematical representation of divergence. So what you have in the numerator is the total flux. This is the per unit area. The limit is as the volume shrinks to zero. So in rectangular coordinates, so in the previous equation, what we have seen is this thing, right? You have seen this expression, right? In case of rectangular coordinates, so integration of d dot ds is equal to this sum of partial derivatives multiplied by delta v. So if you take delta v to the LHS, it is integration of d dot ds divided by delta v. That will be equal to sum of the partial differentiations, right? So that's why in rectangular coordinates, this particular term or the divergence will become dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dou z. Okay, so this is the expression for divergence in rectangular coordinate system. So there is another concept of a vector operator del. It is pronounced del. Okay, so this symbol is pronounced as del. So this del is a vector operator and it is given by, it is partial derivatives. Okay, so partial derivatives on the rectangle or any coordinate system. Okay, vector operator which has all the three axes. So it is dou by dou x into vector ax plus dou by dou y into ay plus dou by dou z into az. So if you consider any vector, for example, we will consider the flux density. Flux density is given by d, right? Flux density is given by d. In rectangular coordinates, you can write this d as dxax plus dyay plus dzaz. It's x, y, and z components. So the dot product of these two, that is del and d, that is del dot d. If you find the dot product of del dot d, what happens? You know how to find the dot product. So multiply ax components, ay components, and az components. So that will be dou by dou x of dx plus dou by dou y of dy plus dou by dou z of dz. Okay, so it is dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dz by dz. So del dot d is dou dx by dou x plus dou dy by dou y plus dou dy dou z by dz, which is the same as the expression for divergence, right? So this is nothing but the divergence. That's why if you find the dot product of this del with any vector, it actually gives you the divergence of that vector. Okay, dot product of this del with any vector will give you the divergence of that vector. So del dot d is nothing but divergence of d. Okay, in rectangular coordinates, it is simply the sum of the partial derivatives on each component, that is x, y, and z. So there are different expressions in different coordinate systems. There are actually derivations for this which is out of the scope of your understanding. That's why we will directly take the formula. Okay, directly take the formula and we can use them while solving numerical examples. So this we have seen in rectangular coordinates, it is del dot d is this one. In cylindrical coordinates, it is 1 by rho into dou by dou rho of rho d rho plus 1 by rho dou d phi by dou phi plus dou dz by dou z. In spherical coordinates, it is r theta phi, right? So it is 1 by r square dou dr by dou dr of r square into dr plus 1 by r sine theta dou by dou theta sine theta into d theta plus 1 by r sine theta dou d phi by dou phi. So these are the expressions for divergence of a particular vector in all the three coordinate systems. Fine. So next we have another important equation, or it is also called point form of Gauss's law. Point form in the sense it is the differential form of Gauss's law. So whatever the Gauss's law we have seen already, that is q, right? Q is equal to psi, or that is equal to integration of d dot ds. That is in the integral form. So the point form will be in differential form, right? So this particular equation, whatever we are going to get, that is also called Maxwell's equation. It is the Maxwell's first equation in electrostatics. So there are four Maxwell's equations that we are going to study. That is in the last module. So the first equation is in the electrostatics. So we will start. We will get that starting from the Gauss's law itself. From Gauss's law, we have this. That is integration of closed surface integral of T dot ds. That is, this is actually the flux, right? That is equal to the total charge enclosed within that particular closed surface. That is integration of D dot ds is equal to Q. Right. Then, if you want to take this per unit volume, you are going to divide this by unit volume, that is delta V. So if you divide this by delta V on the both sides, you get this. Now, if you apply limits as delta V tends to 0, that is, if the volume shrinks to 0, to get divergence, we are going to do this, right? If volume shrinks to 0, okay, so then you'll get this limit of this particular thing as delta V tends to 0. Here also limit of Q by delta V as delta V tends to 0. Now, if you observe this particular thing in the LHS, this is nothing but the divergence. This is the expression for divergence. And what is this? This is the charge, and this is unit volume. Charge per unit volume is nothing but the volume charge density, right? Volume charge density. Charge density is indicated by symbol rho. Volume charge density is rho v. Okay, volume charge density is rho v. So divergence, this is LHS, whatever we have, this is the divergence, and on the RHS you have the volume charge density. That means del dot D is equal to rho v. On the LHS we have divergence of D, that is del dot D. On the RHS we have volume charge density, that is rho v. So this expression is called Maxwell's first equation. It is also called the point form of Gauss's law, okay, or differential form of Gauss's law. Del dot D is equal to rho v. Fine. So that's about the Maxwell's first equation. We are left with one more thing in this particular chapter, that is the divergence theorem. This is also a very important theorem from the point of view of exam. You can either be asked to state and prove this divergence theorem, or you can be given with the problem. That is, you will be given with a particular surface or a volume, and you will be asked to prove the divergence theorem for the given scenario. Okay, so it is very simple, and the problems are also very interesting. Okay, today we will see the theorem, and probably when you come back to classes, we will solve the problems on this and also the problems on other things that we have seen in this particular chapter. So divergence theorem, this states that this just like divergence, it can be applied to any vector, but normally we apply it for the electric flux density. Okay, so its statement is that the integral of the normal component of any vector field over a closed surface is equal to the integral of the divergence of this vector field throughout the volume enclosed by that closed surface. This is the textbook definition of this particular divergence theorem. So mathematically, if you want to show it, integral of normal component of any vector field over a closed surface, that is this, over the closed surface, integral of normal component means it is d dot ds, right? Is d dot ds. This is equal to integral of divergence of the vector field, that is del dot d, throughout the volume enclosed by that closed surface. That is in volume integral of del dot d d. So if you want to express this in simple terms, divergence theorem, it actually means that the closed surface integral of the any vector is equal to volume integral of its divergence. Okay, as you can see, this is closed surface integral of the vector is equal to the volume integral of its divergence. Okay, but when asked in the exam, you should state this particular statement. Okay, as given in the text. That is the integral of normal component of any vector field over a closed surface is equal to the integral of divergence of that vector field throughout the volume enclosed by that particular surface. So how to prove this? So we will always start from the Gauss's law. That is the LHS of this particular divergence theorem. That is closed surface integral of d dot ds is nothing but the charge enclosed within that surface, right? That is Q. This we get from Gauss's law. We take this as equation number 1. The charge enclosed in a volume, if you consider a volume, the charge enclosed is integration of rho v into dv. This we already know. That is charges charge density multiplied by volume, integration of charge density multiplied by volume. That, you know, you can, if you want to know this, charge density, volume charge density will be actually equal to dq by dv, right? It is dq by dv. So if you rearrange this, dq will be equal to rho v into dv, right? So if you integrate both sides, integration of dq will be equal to integration of rho v into dv. Integration of dq is nothing but q. Q will be equal to integration of rho v into dv. That is what this equation we get from. That is, q is equal to integration of rho v into dv. So this we will take as equation number 2. So then you also know the point form of Gauss's law or Maxwell's first equation. That is, del dot d is equal to rho v, right? Del dot d is equal to rho v, right? So if you use this in equation number 2, in place of rho v, if I put del dot d, what do I get? That is, q will be equal to integration of del dot d into dv, right? So this is equation number 4. Now if you substitute this here, q is integration of del dot d dv, you get the divergence there. Okay, so that's why closed surface integral of any vector is equal to the volume integral of its divergence. So this is your divergence theorem, right? So with this, we have finished all the topics in the first part of your second module, that is regarding Gauss's law and divergence. We have seen Gauss's law, its statement and the proof. Then we have seen some applications of Gauss's law to find the charge or the electric field intensity, to find the electric field intensity due to symmetric charge distributions, and also to find the charge enclosed within a differential volume element. Then we have seen the concept of the divergence, its expression in all the three coordinate systems, the vector operator del, right? If you find the dot product of the operator del with any vector, it is nothing but the divergence of that particular vector. We have also seen the Maxwell's first equation or point form of Gauss's law, and lastly we have seen the divergence theorem, right? So these are only the concepts. The actual thing lies in how to apply these things to solve the numerical examples. So those things I'll better take it when you come back to classes physically here in the college, right? And from the next class I will begin with the next part in the module, that is energy and potential. Okay, I'll stop for today.